Here, I want to show you something. The biggest cucumber in the world.
Hopefully you had a successful 2020 summer growing season, now slowly drawing to a close. The good news is there are tons of things that you can still grow in the fall, and that should actually specifically be grown in the fall. Let's talk about how to transition from tomatoes and cucumbers to brassicas and beets. First, decide what you want to plant. So I've created a short list of fall crops based on two of my most reliable sources for California gardening, the California Master Gardener Handbook and Christy Wilhelmi from Garden Nerd. Each source had significant lists, so I'm just going to mention now which ones overlapped from both sources. Beets, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, lettuce, onions, both bulb and green, radish, spinach, and turnip. I also want to mention garlic again. I put out a video a few weeks ago about planting garlic, which is also done in the fall, and I find is one of the best crops to plant, which you do directly from the bulb. Check out that video for some more specifics on that. This list can change significantly based on where you live. Master Gardeners is nationwide, and all their information is research-based through state universities. So I recommend that you search your state's Master Gardener program online to find more information that is specific to your region. They even frequently have a free helpline and different workshops available to help the public for just this reason. So it's a great resource. Next, you remove any crops that have finished their life cycle. So for fruiting plants like tomatoes and cucumbers, that's when there's no longer any fruit on the vine, and the plant is not producing any more flowers. For leafy things, that's going to be when the flowers do appear. So things like lettuces and herbs, if they send up a flower, that means that they have reached the end of their life cycle. That's why they're producing the seed that's in the flowers in order to survive until the next season. It might be hard to rip your little babies that you've cared for all these months out of the earth, so maybe just say a little prayer before you do, like they do in Avatar. I see you. And then rip. Then amend your soil. Just like you do in the spring, you need to add organic matter and nutrients to your soil, otherwise known as compost. Try to bring the soil level in your container up to the point where it was when you planted in the spring. If you think it looks the same, then just add a bit of fertilizer to it, like my favorite, the Dr. Earth vegetable and tomato fertilizer. Now remember to always read the instructions thoroughly and follow them. Over-fertilizing your plants can actually harm and kill them. So make sure you read everything and put the appropriate amount. You're usually asked to mix it in to some degree, even if it's just working it into the surface of the soil. So be sure to follow those instructions. And remember that soil health is plant health. And finally, the fun part, you can plant your seeds. I dug through some of my seeds, and it turns out I have a lot of things that qualify on the list, so I'm gonna try to use these up before I go crazy with my seed purchasing again. Remember, seeds really only are viable for about 2 or 3 years, ish, it depends. Even have a Romanesco, which I've been dying to try. This is like a fancy cauliflower. Read your seed packets thoroughly. My biggest temptation is always to plant too many seeds because I get so excited, and I almost always have to thin them out, which isn't a big deal. That just means when they come up, if they're too close together, you can just pull out the little seedlings. You can only really do that at that time though, because as soon as their roots become more established and intertwined, pulling up one means pulling up a whole section of your plants. So try not to feel too guilty about it. You also don't want to have your plants planted too close together because it encourages pests to live in and around your plants where they can be safe in the little plant jungle. And it also is a great environment for powdery mildew and other molds to flourish, and we don't want that. So if for some reason your seed packet doesn't have instructions, just use the mighty internet and you can get some information. Try to think about the full-grown size of the plant when you plant it and plant accordingly. That's it, guys. I mean, it's kind of repetitive, I think, but You need to start to get and understand that rhythm. Removing old plants, replenishing our soil with organic matter and nutrients, which you can find in one package in compost, or you can make up your own. There's many ways to add what your soil needs, and you'll start to understand that more after each season and seeing how your plants respond. So for now, buying a nice bag of compost at the store is probably a great start for most of you guys. And then you're going to plant your new seeds, and guess what? It's a whole new growing season. So have fun, quarantine gardeners. Enjoy yourselves. I know I do. I'm very excited about my Romanesco and my beets, of course. I even have some Mizuna. So we'll see how that goes. Good luck on your fall plantings. I can't wait to hear how they're all progressing. And thanks again for tuning in. Have a great week. Ciao.